9:44 p.m. Another little trip through space. Damn clouds again. It's been pretty ridiculous. Yesterday was the funniest stream so far. Global meltdown of YouTube midstream, and chat room was still working because I had the pop-out chat. And yeah, that was just freaking strange. Seems like it went down for everybody. What's up, Duplicate? What's up, SDAC? What's up, Vision? What's up, Tim? How's it going, y'all? Doesn't look too bad. Feels like it's moving through. We got Mars hanging out to the left. Yesterday, billions of people under the age of 30 experienced the most traumatic event of our lives. YouTube hawk down. I don't know, it's interesting. Just to think about how many things were actually going on YouTube at once in terms of collective consciousness and monetary situations. I haven't even read, has anyone read anything about like how it happened? I haven't had a chance today. I find it pretty fascinating. I was actually just watching the psychological ripples of what was happening after that on Twitter. So tell me, what hit the moon due to YouTube's closing? I don't know, you tell me. I had like strange clouds. You know, I rarely like to use the word strange, or kind of like I don't feel weird about a lot of things, but yesterday the vibe just seemed so strange with the like completely unexpected clouds that followed the moon all night. I mean, even when YouTube came back, I was gonna come back and stream, and then I couldn't see the moon at all because of these weird, like not on the radar clouds. So that's kind of funny. What it means, who knows? But I didn't see anything strange on the moon. Like you guys, I left that video up. It actually, I don't know how it kind of stuck up there, but you can see what my view was looking like. And that's all she wrote. What's up there, Mary? How you doing? A good evening to you. Yeah, did y'all experience anything weird during the blackout? Yeah, you know, like you can always attribute it back to yourself if you have that kind of complex. I was like, oh my God, are they trying to stop me from streaming? No, but I never think like that it's that targeted. It's fucking weird. Although you never know what's going on. It's all a strange, interesting tapestry of ideas and concepts. I've been listening to a lot of Terrence McKenna lately. Just listen to like 3 hours of Terrence McKenna and get your mind right or wrong. Exactly, Skynet shift happened. The Y2K part 2. Y2K2. You know, they can't resist making a sequel. It's got to be some sort of network shut down at some point. But what would we do? What would we do? What's up, JR Low? How's it going? SDAC says upgrade servers, lays AI Skynet. Yeah, my Sprint AT&T had issues before. I don't know, I feel like Keith would have written something, right? Zero internet till this morning in most of central Texas. Maybe it was some sort of solar flare that wasn't registered. I don't know, I haven't checked anything yet today. Just got done with work, so there's a lot of research to be done on like why that happened, but still, lots of weird things have happened and will happen. So it's just another glitch on the blippy radar. Yeah, DMT status. I don't know. Yeah, so few clouds rolling through over here. What's up there, Daryl? How's it going? Another really interesting thing McKenna was talking about today was how, like, when he set up this, like the botany center in Hawaii with his brother Dennis, he was talking about how, like, he's like, you'd be surprised at how few people are actually interested in this mind-expanding experience. You know, he's like, maybe 50 people out of 2 billion people. And it made me think of, like, this stream and how, you know, we have 20 people sometimes watching, 30 people, you know, Keith has like whatever 70, 100 people, and so few people really paying attention to space, like on a daily basis, out of like what is essentially billions. All right, that's nice. Looks like it cleared a little bit. What's up, Maryland? What's up, AK John 74? Maybe switch to 5G, says Mary. That's possible. Possible. I don't know, I guess they would have planned something like that, but I don't know, 10, 16, 18. It's like lottery numbers, I'm lost. Right on, so maybe I was gonna play, but then I thought, like, tonight there's some good details. Maybe we should do a little moon tour with the Atlas. Atlas. We got, of course, the obvious culprits, Mare Crisium. Top right corner, there's Lacus Temporis. Maybe we do a little bit of zoomed in if it stays clear. SDAC says no one looks up in response to my comment about people not paying attention. I just wonder if it's like, does that even matter, or is it just like, the cool factor just means that it's only going to be a few people, right? I think it's just it's a commentary on the fact that novelty doesn't have to really be for the masses, or like being interesting or cool or different is really just for a select few, and that's a good thing, as opposed to just, oh my God, not enough people are watching, versus like just enough people are watching. Like a good party is 20 people. You know, beyond that, it's like diminishing returns in both directions. Yeah, the moon's at, I want to say 61%. Let's see, for sure, 62.1% right now, 8.5 days old at an altitude of 38 degrees altitude, south-southwest with Mars in tow. And let's see what else. Yeah, waxing gibbous, Saturn is setting. I don't know if I can even see Saturn, but I just want to zoom in a little bit here and take a look. I feel like the focus is not so hot. I'm gonna go adjust that momentarily. Put on some tunes over here.
is calling, a souvenir. As soon as rescue, à retourner. Left fixing the foam, mixing your liquids. Now you're left for dead. Just pay your debts. Float, the moon is calling, a souvenir. As soon as rescue, à retourner. Left fixing the foam, mixing your liquids. Now you're left for dead. Just pay your debts. Float, the moon is calling, a souvenir. As soon as rescue, à retourner. Left fixing the foam, mixing your liquids. Now you're left for dead. Just pay your debts. Float, formidable opponent. Angry crackpot. Formidable opponent. Dangerous lecture. Formidable opponent. You can walk out. Formidable opponent. You have the choice. Formidable opponent. Angry crackpot. Formidable opponent. Dangerous lecture. Formidable opponent. You can walk out. Formidable opponent. Think you have the choice. I wander down the street, for the world, flip it for the edge, flip it for the world, flip it for the edge, flip it for the world.
Telltales running downstairs. Seven times from a make room of chairs. Ten telltales running downstairs. Seven times from a make room of chairs. Casinos running downstairs. Out of the casino, 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 out of the casino. Flip it for the edge, flip it for the world, flip it for the edge, flip it for the world, flip it for the edge, flip it for the world, flip it for the edge, flip it for the world.
What's up, everybody? Just want to get this music down a little bit. Let's talk about some of these features. So, luckily the clouds have moved. There's a bit of atmospheric turbulence. You can see it going in and out of focus just a little bit, but it's clear enough to kind of talk about the close-up features using the Atlas. So I'm just going to put on some chill tunes behind this and then pull up our Lunar Atlas. You're looking at Vallis Alpes, which is right on the edge of Mare Imbrium. And it's that kind of gash mark, the kind of skid mark that Mary mentioned, cutting through Montes Alpes, which is the Alpine mountain range, I would assume. Next to that, to the bottom part of that mountain range is called Mont Blanc. I know we have the Mont Blanc on Earth as well. Higher summit of Montes Alpes, is what it says. Pretty interesting formation, coming at 25 kilometers. And then what was I looking at? The skid mark, right? This Alpine Valley, Valles Alpes, is 130 kilometers and 11 kilometers in diameter. And if we can zoom in just a little bit more, it's a little bit difficult. I don't know if it's as sharp as it could be, but you know, some nights it's much clearer than this. But you can see kind of how it just cuts right through this mountain range. And right in the middle of it, there's a fine valley, or like another type of canyon or a gash that goes right through the middle of that. That's much finer. That's about 1 kilometer across. And this, of course, is right under a very prominent flat floored crater, Plato crater that we see all the time. Let me just hop into the chat and see what's going on with everybody. Mary was talking about that. That's why I hopped on to talk about the skid mark. Just rumors about the shutdown of YouTube. I don't know about that. It definitely was weird. Like I don't think I've ever experienced a full-on like global shutdown of YouTube. That's kind of strange. But then again, like I kind of expect weird shit to be happening constantly. So I don't know if I was more like within 5 minutes, I was kind of just looking at the psychological fallout and kind of experiencing that as an entity of perception. What's going on? Dub K, what's going on? Thanks for the visually stimulating adventures, TakeBackSpace. Great to have you around. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for hanging out on another journey through space. I can't believe I've been doing it for so long, and it just feels like another night. It always feels kind of timeless when you kind of connect with these objects. So, Skywatch SoCal says, something is out there they don't want us seeing. That's, yeah, I don't know who they is. I feel like we are the everything. We are the they, and we are the I, and we are the we. So like, I think everything bad and good must exist. SDAC says, excuse my ignorance, does the moon rotate? The moon does rotate, and it also wobbles, which they call lunar libration, and you can kind of see it over time across the sky. For us, it looks like it kind of turns like a wheel in the sky. It rotates clockwise from east to west over a 12-hour period. Sorry, I feel like I haven't been loud enough, but because I'm just looking over at the screen while talking out of the side of my mouth. Yeah, but the moon does rotate. There are lots of great videos out there showing, you know, what the common understanding of how it works. But from the ground, we essentially see the moon rotate clockwise like a clock. Can you zoom out to see the whole moon? Okay, sure. Sorry, I've been talking and not like zooming out. So right now, I got rid of the focal reducer, which was the lens that you put in between the camera and the telescope in order to be able to see it a little bit wider, to get a bit of a wider view. So I took that off, which allows you to get a more zoomed in view, which is kind of the least amount of glass between the camera and the scope right now. So this is the camera directly to the scope, and so it kind of fills the frame of the Sony. And this is me adjusting some stuff in OBS software like Sat Gamma, kind of gets it a little bit sharper, but you get these gain and highs and lows. Towards the edge it gets really bright. You kind of see right now I just turned down the ISO on the camera in order to balance out the image a little bit, and then what I'll do is I'll adjust the gamma and the contrast a little bit to pull out the features. So you kind of lose a little bit towards the Terminator, but then the edges look a lot sharper. So there's this, so of course to the very far right, top large features Mare Crisium, and then underneath that is Mare Fecunditatis. And in the middle of that is, I want to see Langrenus, right? Yeah, that kind of hot white crater. What's so interesting is how Mare Fecunditatis has a very trapezoidal are geometric, almost square-like shapes sometimes. If you look directly on the screen, you'll see its very sharp edges and kind of Langrenus crater, the white crater, is intersecting its bottom edge. Skywatch SoCal says, almost looks like we're seeing the moon through water. So yeah, I mean, essentially, like our atmosphere is a combination of different densities and droplets of water and little crystals and dust, and it goes up in different levels of density from, you know, your eyeballs to the moon, for example. So you have all these different layers. So imagine like onion skins and millions of different layers of densities of different types of dust mixed with types of water and plasma and or whatever. And so ultimately it looks like we're in a swimming pool looking at the moon, or vice versa. But again, you know, it could be just that magnetics and light look like water, and we're just thinking that we see water, but it's really just all plasma. Yo, what's up there, Tom Buddhist? How's it going? So Mare fecunditatis, and then to the left of that, little Mare nectaris, sinus aspiritatis. We sound so erudite saying these names. Mare tranquillitatis, and then Sea of Serenity, Sea of Tranquility. Pretty obvious features. So let's dive in a little bit closer to Mare Imbrium and the Apennine mountain range, which should be good. Let me try and get that together. So there's almost this jack-o'-lantern configuration right here. This is at the edge of the Apennine mountain range at the rim of Mare Imbrium. And you have 3 craters. The largest one to the left is Archimedes. To the right of that is Aristillus. And then underneath that, the middle one is Autolycus. So just Autolycus. And let's see. To the right of that, there's Cassini. It's the kind of rim crater with the 2 little craters inside it. And then the tiny one that's closest to the mountain range is Theotatus. That's it, yeah, 25 kilometers. All along the rim of Promontorium Fresnel. And you get these kind of really cool, like smiley face, like wicked smiley face with Archimedes as the left eye, kind of tearing up. Almost like a little iconograph archetype of a comet with the tail. Evan Hess says, how come we can't zoom in enough to see the original landers or the flag? The simple reason is just because of the amount of resolution you really need. So we're seeing things right now that are on the scale of 100 kilometers across, and if there were landers on the moon, they would be really, really tiny, and essentially there are only like a few scopes on Earth that can do it, and they don't. So it's just a matter of technology, but it's not impossible. Just you wonder why it's not being done at the highest level. LRO posted some pictures of it, so you could also see that. All right, so I was just talking a little bit about this area. Yeah, if you look at essentially the James Webb telescope that's being built could probably do it. And I don't think Hubble has the resolution. Perhaps the Keck telescopes or the Subaru telescope could do it. But yeah, I haven't seen any pictures of any substance like that taken from Earth. Yeah, no doubt. What's up there, Ellie Wynn? We're still going. What's up, Mr. Skunk? Yo, 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 yo. Just doing a little moon tour over here while YouTube is still up. Blue Star says, what's the approximate miles in full zoom? 200 miles? I don't know, I think like, I don't know, maybe 200, 400 miles possibly is where the image is forged on the magnetosplane, the magnetosplane. I don't know, there's gotta be some sort of vanishing point where things form and turn into pinpoints of information. It's always a confusing thing. I mean, every time I watch the Electric Universe videos, I constantly wonder why, you know, while they support the theory of Halton-Arp and, you know, redshift being not a good indicator of distance, so you start wondering what are distances in space, and, you know, is the speed of light a good determinant of that? It says go back to something in the crater. Just getting a little bit of a zoomed out shot here. It's looking kind of nice because, sorry for that whistle. Getting a little too close to the mic, it gets hot. Yeah, so I'm just looking for some spots that we can zoom into. All right, I actually think I'm gonna get a drink real quick. This view is nice. Let's hold on Mare Imbrium in the shadow of the Terminator. Speaking of Skynet, what does Mr. Skunk say? So, okay, so what's the deal with the impact explosions on the moon that shut down YouTube? I don't know who's making up stories, but are there videos of... Damn it. Yeah, are there videos of that? I didn't hear about that at all. Also, I was filming the moon, I don't know, like, but of course there were clouds all night. I mean, who knows? The other thing is, I don't know if you really see impacts on the moon from Earth. I mean, I think you think you could see them, but I don't think you actually see them, considering the size of things. And also the atmosphere, like we're seeing a lot of good detail on the moon, but I would venture to say we don't see detail like that we think we see. I think it's really distorted and magnified and like retched through all these different layers of magnetics and densities and water, and it looks so sharp, but it's not really sharp at all. So I don't know if we'd really see anything colliding or impacting, or spaceships or bunkers or anything like that, in all honesty, even with the best telescopes. Also because the moon, you know, like, who the hell knows where it really is and like how it exists and like what's inside it and how the light works and how all the gases work. Like, there's so much left to be known about the moon, and it's just presented in the media and movies that we know a lot about the moon, but really people don't know really anything about the moon. I mean, I don't know much about the moon, but certainly like humankind knows very little about the moon. Did I spill my drink? No, I've always complained about it, but it's this silly telephone, like old analog telephone cable that connects the remote control for the telescopes for all Celestron, I guess, and all telescope mounts. That kind of coil, elastic coil connector. And man, like, you can't put the remote down anywhere on the table without it springing to life and kind of dragging the whole thing down, crashing to the floor. I've replaced this remote like countless times just because I can't seem to just settle it down. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, vetching is not what this show is about. Let's put on some tunes here, take a 5-minute break for my voice, and yeah. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. 10:25 in the ether. says, there have been several claiming to have seen a video depicting 3 impacts explosions. Apparently it's been scrubbed. Hopefully someone archived it quickly. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. There's so much bull crap on YouTube right now. You don't even know what's real, to be honest. Like I constantly wonder about, like, even when I put titles up on the screen or like type anything to make sure that like this stream is really just like exactly what the camera is seeing. And so when people claim that they've caught something and they were just randomly just looking at the moon at that right moment, it just seems like so, I don't want to say BS because that's just like, who knows, some people do capture random stuff. Like I've captured random things that I'm sure people are like, oh shit, he was on the right time, like he was exactly waiting for that lunar wave. So no, but I've shown over the years that I stream for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to capture like one thing every like very often. You know, same thing with P and K. So the guys who kind of capture things randomly, I feel are like very easy to judge, and you know, a lot of claims are made and a lot of videos are put together, but you can really, I don't know, it just doesn't seem reasonable that just one person would have captured it. There's so many people filming the moon right now that everyone would have captured something. The same thing like when which comet? One of the comets hit Jupiter way back in '89. I'm just blanking on it right now. The Schumacher-Levy comet hit Jupiter back in like '89 or '91, and everyone saw it. So if something hit Jupiter and there were like 5 or 6 people monitoring Jupiter in like the late '80s, '90s, then certainly if something hit the moon last night, there would be hundreds of videos. That's my thought. Evan Hess says, is the lunar wave real? I mean, it depends on what you think it is, but there are videos of it, and it's a thing. So I don't think people make it up. There are some people who have fabricated it using After Effects or Premiere, but I've captured it live several times, and people have seen it, and they've seen the Jupiter wave that was also captured live. It's just an event that happens in the sky, and there's maybe a proper scientific explanation for it. A lot of people believe it's airplane contrails, like airplane turbulence jets that leaves a wake beyond after the airplanes pass by, and those 2 jets pass over the moon or Jupiter, creating a wave. Others think it's like a refresh rate for a hologram, but what I think it is probably like an atmospheric event interacting with some sort of magnetic event. That was my best guess. The other one would be that, you know, something is being pinged. Maybe like we have technology that pings our ionosphere and it looks like a ripple. Maybe it's benign, maybe it's not benign. The other thing could be the magnetopause of Earth is a double plasma layer. Could be passing through the moon, the Earth's magnetopause. And, you know, and it could be anything, but it's, I don't know what real means. Just people have captured it. A lot of people have captured it. And no one seems to have like a solid explanation for it. So it's added to the pile, is the thought. I don't know if it really matters necessarily, it's just interesting. So Skywatch SoCal says, what would happen if Halley's Comet hit the moon? I mean, that I absolutely think you'd see a comet hitting the moon. I just mean like little impacts on the moon like wouldn't be noticeable. So giant blasts on the moon would be seen by everybody. You know what I mean? So I don't know, if last night there were giant blasts on the moon, that would be everywhere, I feel. If they were tiny, I don't think anyone would have seen them. So it's easy to deduce how to approach that, is the thought. So I was taking a break because I'm already dry mouth at this point. I'm like killing it. These last few nights I've been trying to sing, and the humidity gets to me over here just because I guess like you leave the door open and I don't know, just all these things. But it's all good. It's all good in the hood. All right, let's put this cool track over here. I'll be back in a few moments. Yeah, I almost choked on my food just because, like, exactly, like, how the hell can you tell from Earth something that's 59 feet across with what gear? And like, you had that exact gear that can spot a 60 foot wide mark on the moon, just ready to go. And then we don't have pictures of like close-up shots of everything else on the moon at 60 feet. I mean, the LRO shots are 10 kilometers. So how is anything being spotted at that size is like my question. So I don't know, I've seen all these little videos, these clips of like little things hitting the moon, like tiny flashes, and it's totally possible, but you know, I've also heard about stories about the moon off-gassing, almost like little volcanoes on the moon, and those could produce like little white spots, like white clouds or white flashes. So I don't know if anything's really hitting the moon, even though you'll see all these simulations and renders of the moon getting hit over a long period of time, but then there's no way of determining that independently. So I don't know, personally. Here, let me see if I find that video. Yeah, I think I may have seen this one before, right? Oh, right, so LRO did take the shot. Wait, 18 meters, okay. So strange. I don't know. Yeah, I think I may have seen this one before. It's just like, it's just such a weird, here actually, like now you got me to this place, so now I could just talk about this really annoying thing about how, I guess it's gonna be shit talking, but whatever. This video from Space channel on YouTube is just this absolutely ridiculous thing where like you can run all these multiple streams and they do all these things that are supposed to be independent, but it's really just an entertainment channel or live videos from space. I don't know, it just drives me crazy that we don't really have an official channel for space. Yo, cheers, Laurel Davis. Thank you. I'm just whining a little bit here about the state of affairs, but we got a gorgeous shot of the waxing gibbous moon right now. I was going to zoom in and do a few more tour thingies. Yeah, the zoomed in shot doesn't seem so clear tonight. There's a bit of turbulence. I feel like it's like pulling all this haze with it as it comes down. So maybe the wide shot is the way to go. Just get this in view. Yeah, you hear me? I don't know, like I feel like, yeah, fine to have like live space streams and like rebroadcast NASA, that's cool, but like shouldn't NASA have like an official like 10 channel stream of all the live stuff going on from every mission? But then again, you hope, but you think like in a reasonable world things would happen, but they don't because it's not really a reasonable world. Everything is and seems backwards. It's just like, sorry, just reading some of his comments. Yeah, eat all your fish, what's going on? Yeah, just ranting over here, thinking about how absurd things are when it comes to the grandeur of the moon in regards to our civilization. And the fact, you know, even though like I was just talking about all these different impacts and these photos and everything, you see how like even that discussion is, you know, a different thread than the actual fact that we have a moon in general. You know, so always getting back to the real root of it all is that we're looking at this object that is just incredible and magnanimous, and just how does it even exist and how did it come to be? You know, beyond, I mean, before we even dive into like meteor strikes and LRO and big telescopes, we're just looking at this incredible object, which we really don't even know how old it is and how large it really is and what's happening with it on a moment-to-moment basis. Except, you know, that's sort of the point of all of this, is to kind of pay attention. It's almost like looking at the page instead of reading the words on the book, in the book, rather. Oh, that was definitely a bird, right? Oh shit, you guys are on a bit of a lag, so it'll catch up in a second. Shadow of a bird coming through. Blue Star says, what's your favorite area of the moon? So a lot of my favorite features are actually hidden right now on the other side, the dark side, which is Aristarchus crater in that area, and then of course north of Mare Imbrium there's Sinus Iridum, which is the Bay of Rainbows. Yeah, that was definitely a bird shadow. So this kind of area near Mare Imbrium, I'll zoom in a bit here. So right around here, as you come into Mare Imbrium, you'll see Plato crater, Valles Alpus, and you'll see these other tiny little, kind of like the chicken claw to the left of Plato, which is a fantastic little feature. I want to say called, where are you? My little chicken foot, Montes Tenerife. Tenerife and Mons Pico are the two little like chicken foot things next to Plato crater, which is the large kind of flat-footed crater. Yeah, that was definitely a bird, yeah. Consensus bird. Yeah, that was massive. I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's just like something pretty close to me. Yeah, so some of my favorite features start around here. As the Terminator line moves, it'll kind of peek into, like I said, Sinus Iridum and the rest of Mare Imbrium, and then kind of Aristarchus with Copernicus and Kepler, and then Tycho crater down here. But I actually really I've started to really enjoy looking at the mountains here, the Apennine mountain range. Sometimes it's a lot clearer than this, and you kind of see more of the granularity. This is a really fun feature. This is, what is this? And if you don't do it for a couple of weeks, you start losing it. This is, yeah, Hyginus. The kind of tiny little craterlet in the middle of like a long sinuous rill. Very interesting feature. This tiny thing is like 10 kilometers in diameter. See, that's another bird through the view. SDAC says, the moon is insane. It sure affects us on a subconscious level. Yeah, and I mean, honestly now, for me, it's a totally conscious level. But yeah, definitely when you sleep and like for all the years that you never paid attention to the moon, can you imagine what it was really actually interacting with every one of us magnetically, until you're actually paying attention, kind of even conceiving that that's what's going on. So really, you know, one of the big reasons I believe in the electric universe theory is because of all these features. For example, like this Hyginus and these things they call sinuous rills, which, you know, are usually attributed to volcanic kind of lava flows, but really they appear in the middle of nowhere. They look like essentially like electric arcing has cut across the surface. And electrical arcing also creates bubbles on the surface and like essentially boils the surface. And that's why there are all these kind of craters and flat craters that look like their bubbles have been burst. A lot of them, you know, some look like impact craters, but a lot of them really look like all this electrical kind of bubbling and scarification that electric universe talks about. It's very, very important. And it's just taken so, it's like it's nothing, you know, to people, but the implications are really massive. I mean, because it really answers one, like for example, we're looking at this crater chain. And if you look kind of squint, you'll see that it looks like a hexagon, hexagonal patterns, right? And I'll tell you exactly the names of these three. So the largest crater in the center, or the biggest hexagon, is Ptolemaeus. To the left of that, that's kind of infringing upon its rim, is Alphonsus. And further than that is Arzachel, or Arzakel, maybe. And then the crater underneath that, with its little crater inside, is Albategnius. And then Klein crater is the one that's inside it. And so this idea of little craters on the rims of larger craters preferentially. And you'll see that essentially electricity determines all these different patterns, like the intertwining of Birkeland currents as, the DNA helix and the barred spiral galaxy, and hexagonal forms in terms of crystal lattice structures in a giant symmetrical flow in both ways. And so you see the moon essentially mimicking all these different patterns, noise at different distances, fractals, hexagons. And there's really, even the turbulence that's going across the screen right now is a type of noise and type of displacement that can be measured. And so then we even arrive at the Apennine mountain range, this really gnarly looking thing. And then what really happens is the eye starts going into these things where you start forming faces and mouths, and you start realizing that trees and mountain ranges and teeth and mouths and symmetry is all up and down, and simply because we're all part of the same system, which is likely driven by electrical current. And so you wonder if really even the structure of the moon, the nature of the moon, the shape of the moon is even determined by inner currents inside each and every one of the little rocks. And then this area almost looks like cement, or like kind of spatula, or whatever they call it, where they spread cement on blocks. And that's just like we do on Earth. It looks like a very common thing, a very mundane thing. All right, so I think I'm gonna take a little break and then head over to Mars, and let's see what Mars is looking like tonight. I'm gonna get 3X Barlow in, and put on some more tunes. Oh yeah, what's up everybody? What's up there, Awake? How you doing? Good to see you, bro. Welcome. Just in time to see a little bit of Mars. Mars is definitely vibey tonight because it's so close to the moon. I feel like at least the turbulence in our atmosphere is getting the view like, I mean, that's as good as I could really focus it. I don't know. It's not super hot, but you can definitely see some of the surface darkness and the polar cap a little bit. A little bit of Mars, all good. Stay in view, please, stay in view. Arms inside the vehicle. Batten down the hatches, raise the solar sail, hoist the gravity anchors, we're off for a new adventure. Off for a new adventure. Yeah, you can sort of see the polar cap. Yeah, it's just really in and out of focus. I mean, I feel like it's sort of kind of sharp for a second, but yeah, I don't know. Let's stay on this for a couple more minutes. But the moon was looking good on the 3X, so maybe we'll do a little bit more of that. I know how to drink here somewhere. Oh, nice. SDAC Stellarium is pretty dope. I've been using it for a few years, and yeah, it just has one really annoying thing where it starts full screen, but apart from that, it's great. All right, so it's a little bit of Mars. I feel like my tracking is a little bit off tonight, so it's drifting hard. Maybe just go back to the moon and kind of leave us in on a zoomed in view and jam out a little bit. sure if the audio is 320 actually. I think it might be 240. No, it should be 320 actually. I don't like messing with OBS in the middle of the stream, but I'll answer that at some point. Ellie Wynn, I guess that thumbs up is for volume. Hope so, because I feel like I haven't touched these settings. I'm happy with them. There's another bird. A couple of birds. What are they, landing on the scope? Coming to like hang out. It's like seagulls. All right, hanging out here with the really awesome shot of Mare Crisium and Proclus with 3 really prominent rays tonight. That little hot rim of the little crater. Crazy. Oops, sorry. Feels a little harsh, but let me adjust this EQ a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I knew there was something up with that. Listen to the song and then not screw it up. Formidable, just float. Tortured Earth areas, Mare Marginis, a kind of cool little character driven underneath Mare Crisium. Let's go up north a little bit towards Mare Frigoris. Something like that. Falling like a feather. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to practice that a bit more. Sorry if I lost everybody. Swagger. Let me play something I do know, however. Or just make up something new. family. Warm-blooded and hard to live with. Only I feel like our heart beats together in some sort of fractal in the sky. Some sort of magnet in your eye. Don't lie, you felt it many times. So many times. Just like your diamond ring vector, slowly to hear the audio. Diamond shape vector, I control you with heart. Alright, so sometimes I need a little to warm up. Not every idea is a perfect idea. So I'm just warming up live. Told you what I feel, reaches, it's something new. Caught a feeling, dropped some acid and dove into you. Don't you tell me I have lifted up, Don't give me to the punchline. You said, but she left me a piece in the fridge. That you ate up my heart anyway. You did. Better now, baby, what you and I would say all authority, so illegal. They left us in a state of treason. Criminals with no recourse. Criminals since we were born. Bound to an agreement under strict authoritative control. I'm a stickler for things like documents and signatures that lord over mankind's abode, an earth of unforetold penitence, a world we barely know one day after the next. Into 1,000 crystal monsters, Tomorrow I turn into blood. Tomorrow I turn into 3,000 pixelated monsters. What's going on, chat room? What's your vector, Victor? All right, let's move around. We're Mari Crisium for a little long. Let's get down. Langrenus crater at the kind of nexus of Mare Fecunditatis. Lots of awesome striations and rays coming across this. Top of your screen is Messier A and B. What's up there, Cognition Wings? How's it going? Subterranean Flow Fan. How you doing? Just noticed, yeah. What's up, Nicholas Pitts? What's happening? Appreciate that. Hope everybody's doing really wonderfully tonight. Lucky we got some nice moonage. chill tonight. Last night was strange. Evil surrounding us. I had my opinion on that earlier. I don't know if there really was an impact last night. I think it's just a rumor, but I could be wrong. Haven't seen anything like that though. I saw a couple of things come up, but they definitely, I feel like a lot of people, like I said earlier, watch the moon. Especially, there are a lot of people who don't stream or like put videos on YouTube, but I bet you they're watching, and they would put a video if something happened. No aliens yet, Vinny TV. I think really the good feature here with 3X is Mari Crisium and Proclus back at it. So I get zoned in on the guitar stuff, so it's tough to kind of do both, but that view is really nice right now. Then maybe I'll just get out wide in a little bit. Took down YouTube because they couldn't post the moon impact. I mean, the thing is we have like so many video platforms besides YouTube, like Twitch and Vimeo and probably a zillion others that I'm unaware of. But I think YouTube might have been some sort of like hacker thing or just a security test or probably just maybe loading off too many features, who knows. But also people have websites and video cams and Twitter and Instagram. Like there are too many fallbacks to get information out there. Also, it's funny how it didn't really go trending for a long time. There's a whole bunch of stuff about sports really dominates on this planet. If a sports team went missing, believe me, people would give a shit. Forests, who cares? Moon, who cares? But sports is so important. Hope I don't isolate myself here. I don't know, there was a point in my life I could watch sports and I just could not do it anymore. I feel really sloppy musically tonight. I think I'm just gonna talk and play music in the background. It's just been a long day. Maybe the carpal tunnel is kicking in. So mute that and just play something in the background. There's a ton of stuff. Yeah, I guess a bunch of people lost money because they couldn't monetize their videos, and I would understand that. That's kind of annoying. This area is great. Mari Marginis. I'll zoom in there for a second. Damn, that's like a 3X view of this kind of like what they call tortured Earth, or tortured moon rather. It's a great word for it. It was really strange how the whole thing crashed and I was still like chatting with y'all because I had the pop-out chat. It's so funny. Could not do anything. I'm gonna leave that up as like a record of when YouTube went down. That was an extreme close-up, maybe a little too close. All right, I'm gonna switch it back to a wide view. I think that was a little more beautiful, even though these zooms have been good. mean, honestly, like I'll watch like actually some obscure stuff. I'll watch like ping pong or what they call table tennis, I guess, or I'd watch billiards, I guess. No, I'd probably watch ping pong or maybe a tennis match. But honestly, like the way I see it, like when I was a kid, like there was McEnroe and Jimmy Connors and Steffi Graf and like really amazing players. I know like we have like incredible like robot level AI Roger Federer types, but for me it didn't really get better than Jimmy Connors. So I think like some of the best games in sports have been played already. At this level it just seems like this, it's like what happened with first person shooter video games, where like now it's just like the same thing over and over again, just repackaged with new little elements, and it's become just oversaturated, I guess. Frisbee is cool though too, for sure. I can dig some frisbee, maybe some volleyball, some weird volleyball, or some like badminton, or some lizard tossing. Like I don't know how that sounded, but I think of all these little like iguanas. So stupid. Oh man, Wolfman Jack, you just caught me with like a triple, like double entendre Freudian slip there. What's up, my brother? How you doing? How's Miss Skywatcher? Just pretty freaking goofy tonight. Yeah, so let me switch up this lens. I'll be right back. What's up, Jacqueline? How's it going? Wolfman, good to see you, like I said. Switched up that lens for a second, got us into the wide view again. Still looking quite beautiful. No, come back, Lunar. Actually, I didn't realize how there's a really good view of Huygens Sword, or Rupus recta, as they call it. So it's this object right here, this feature rather. This is quite a good view of it. It's in the right type of shadow, and it's just like a fold in the land, like the kind of like a shelf in the moon surface kind of folded onto the next area, and it kind of folded in this neat pattern. This is really one of the better shots I've seen. So take it in. Like I said, Huygens sword is another name for it. Of course, it gets its name from how it looks, but it's interesting how just at that right moment, there's a little bit of kind of mountainous regions cutting through it at the right point. So you can kind of tell that it's a little bit older than the mountain range, I would assume. And you kind of see these two little islets, craters around it. Let me see if I can identify those. So there's Birt crater, B-I-R-T, is the one that you can see above it, and beneath it is Thebit crater, and Thebit A is the little crater inside that. So funny, once you see this face, you can't unsee it. And there's another like little face where the mouth should be. Well, you got the Archimedes crater and Autolycus, Aristillus, creating this kind of creepy looking Cabbage Patch face. It's getting near midnight, y'all. I feel, like today's just been kind of a long day. I don't know why. I'm kind of tired. Yesterday was just so strange. Just everything felt so weird. Just hanging out here over the Apennine mountain range. Moving north to Mare Imbrium. Bring the wine, tally the time until the twilight's gone. Go Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't weird. It just, like, what happened was, let me just adjust this real quick. What happened was, I just sat down to the moon last night and it looked ultra clear, like there wasn't a cloud in sight. I set up and got everything ready to stream, and it literally got cloudy from like 8:30 till 1 in the morning, with nothing on the radar and like just no letting up. And then the whole thing with the YouTube, like people were in the chat. I wasn't sure if it was just my connection. Then I started to get paranoid. Then I turned it off, and then I went and just monitored Twitter, and then I saw like the weird, like YouTube robot, the Boston Dynamics like Terminator robot on the YouTube feed, you know, on the YouTube Twitter feed, and of course like that's like hyping all this paranoia. And so it took me like 5-10 minutes to kind of chill out and realize like it's all good. So yesterday was just like a strange thing, and then YouTube came back, and I came to the back porch to check on the moon. It was still cloudy. It was like the craziest thing. And so normally I feel like, and maybe this is just egocentric of me to think, or like whatever, self-aggrandized to feel like I can feel the weather, but yesterday just felt like not connected with the weather, and I often do feel like I know when the clouds are kind of moving and they don't. So anyway, but you're bound to have a weird moment here and there. I don't know, also my channel's been striked before, and like you never know like whether they block your IP or it's your, I thought it was just my connection for a second. I was just like, oh damn, of course, like another like little glitch in the matrix. I've had so many like little hiccups, it's ridiculous. I don't know if you guys are all new enough, or maybe some of you are old enough to, like 2 years ago what happened was there was a lightning bolt that took out the computer that I used to stream with, the internet connection, and my music interface. One lightning bolt that happened outside the house I used to stream at back in the day. And like just put me out, and then a month later I had a hernia from picking up one of the telescopes that put me out in surgery, and then I had a copyright strike after that. So absolutely ridiculous. If you want to go paranoid, like I'll go with you. It's very interesting that like the stream actually stayed together. I guess it cut off correctly. So interesting. Like a few years ago, that would have never happened. It would have been corrupted for sure. And somehow it kept going. I just couldn't see anything on my screens. They literally went blank. Ellie says our police department made news worldwide because so many people called the police to find out what happened to YouTube. Yeah, man, that is freaky. I don't know if that happened around here, but I don't doubt it. It's like really like, imagine all of cable went out for an entire hour. I mean, I guess it's happened before, but I think more people watch YouTube than cable. Or at least the people who watch YouTube are freaking diehard. Yo, what's up, Rock Hales? All right, my friends, I think it's up for me. I'm pretty tired. I'm actually kind of falling asleep here. So it's almost midnight. A couple hours stream was pretty good. I'll play us out to the song, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Hope you have a good day. Thanks again for stopping by, everybody. Vision, Ellie, Rock Hales, I know you just got through. Awake, good to see you, bro. Wolfman Jack, thanks for stopping by, brother. Say what's up to the missus. SDAC, if you're still around. Peace. Tom, peace. Jacqueline, thank you. And Carolina, if you're still hanging out. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I'm getting sleepy, y'all. Have a good night. Peace.